We got SEC football kicking off this weekend. Georgia Bulldogs, Arkansas Razorbacks. I'm joined by Brian Leonard and Robbie Vino from WagerTalk.com. I am Drew Martin. Brian, we got Georgia Bulldogs here laying 26 on the highway against the Arkansas Razorbacks. This kicking off 4 o'clock Eastern, 1 o'clock Pacific time on SEC Network. We're seeing 52.5 being the total here, Brian. What are you thinking with Georgia versus Arkansas?
Yeah, it's nice to be able to talk about team names that people off the street actually know. Georgia and Arkansas here. It should be a really interesting game. The Bulldogs are 11-4. ATS is a road favorite under Kirby Smart. Last 5 season openers, Georgia's 4-1 against the spread. The only loss was by half a point. So he gets his team ready early and often early in the season here. They've yet to name a starter at quarterback for Georgia. I think they're going to keep that a secret as long as they can, a little gamemanship thing. They do have many new starters on offenses. They only brought back 3 new starters, but this is a team of Georgia. Last year, they only allowed 13 points a game defensively. The only team to score over 20 against them was the LSU Tigers, the national champions. Now they're playing against Arkansas, a team who's got a new head coach in Sam Pittman, who's actually the Georgia offensive line coach last year. He's got 3 true freshmen in his 2 deep, a very young offensive line, and they're actually the only team in the country who is going to face 7 top 25 teams this season. So he's got his work cut out for him. I mentioned the Georgia defense last year. They brought back 8 starters this year. The last 2 times Georgia brought back 8 or more starters in a game, they gave up 20.7, then they gave up 16.9, so 3.8 points better. And then the next time they brought back 8 or more, they gave up 7.6 less than the year before. So this Georgia defense is going to be fantastic once again. Facing a head coach here in Sam Pittman, who you like, he's been all around. He's just a good Southern boy. It's hard to realize that Georgia's going to lay this big number against them and try to cover. But if Arkansas can't score, it won't take much for this Georgia offense to have success. I think it'll be a little bit of a slow start for Georgia offensively, but that defense is going to be tough for Arkansas to move the ball against.
Yeah, Robbie, coming over to you. I mean, Georgia looks to be very strong again this year, but, having to lay near 4 touchdowns on the road, the ultimate equalizer here, Robbie. Are you interested in Georgia minus the 26?
I don't think I would be, Drew, to tell you the truth. But I think the point I want to make here is this is not your father's SEC anymore, right? I mean, look at the 2 offensive coordinators in this game. Georgia brings in Todd Monken, who's an air raid specialist, who was the offensive coordinator, quarterbacks coach for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers last year and the year before. Monken's bringing air raid principles to this offense. We talked about it a little bit during the spring, Drew, but let me just refresh some people here real quick. It's an interesting situation because you have a head coach in Kirby Smart who's so offensively conservative, and yet he brings in a guy that's going to wing it around the lot. So you wonder if he'll keep the brake on this guy or if he'll just let him go. I think week 1, you don't want to get too carried away with an air raid offense. And the second thing is, like Brian said, the quarterback situation here is dicey right off the bat. Not that they don't have good candidates, but it is a little dicey. Jamie Newman, the transfer from Wake Forest, is the guy they thought was going to be the man. In September, he opts out. JT Daniels transfers in from USC. JT Daniels, remember, has been in an air raid system at USC under Graham Harrell the past couple of years. But he's not medically cleared to play this game yet. We'll have to wait till later in the week to see if he does get cleared. It leaves them with redshirt freshman DeJuan Mathis, who actually, guys, had brain surgery last year. He's back on the field, 6'6", 215, athletic, pretty strong arm, and according to all reports, lit up their scrimmage last week. So it looks like DeJuan Mathis is going to be the guy. This wide receiving core is loaded, George Pickens and company. So I don't doubt that in time they're going to be able to throw it around. But I don't know if that starts right here. Now, Sam Pittman might have come from here as the offensive line coach, but I'm sure he wouldn't recognize this playbook that Monken is putting in place. So that's a little bit of difference. And vice versa, too, right? Kirby Smart won't recognize what Kendall Briles is putting in place for Arkansas. You got Monken against Briles. That's kind of crazy that both of these teams are going from what were conservative labels to pretty much wide open labels here. Felipe Franks, the quarterback from Florida, is transferred over to Arkansas. He's your starter. He knows a lot about Georgia. There's so many ins and outs to this game, guys. Rakeem Boyd, star running back for Arkansas, will run behind an offensive line that wasn't great last year, but he got 1,100 yards. So maybe they'll be a little bit better there. And they, too, have a couple of really good wide receivers. I just think it's way too early to get involved the way I want to get involved. If this game was week 6, week 7, and I saw 52.5, I would have played this thing over despite the Georgia defense, which is phenomenal, because I think both of these teams will be scoring points by that time of the season. Right now, I think without having a play on the game and not really looking to play this game, my best lean would be towards Arkansas plus the 26. I think Pittman, who's just trying to teach physicality to his team, it's a grassroots effort here. I think they'll probably hold up and stay within the number.
He's Robbie Vino on Twitter at Rob Vino Sports. We got Brian Leonard on Twitter at B Leonard Sports. And Brian, coming to you quickly here, do you want to go on record with either side or total play in the Georgia-Arkansas game?
I think playing some live, maybe playing some second half Georgia will probably be the way I'll look at this game, because I think they are going to get off to a little bit of a slow start. And then as the second half goes on, and I know it's a different coaching situation, different players for Arkansas, but we've seen Arkansas the last decade. That's a team, when they fall out of a game, they fall out hard. So it would not surprise me if they get down a little bit, double digits early. If you want no part of Arkansas, that second half, because Georgia's got the better athletes. Georgia's got the better coaching. They're more familiar with each other. And as the game goes on, I think the second half, Georgia will be able to basically do what they want to do in this game. So depending on what the line is, I'm going to take a look at the second half in that game.
All right, looking toward the second half with Brian Leonard. Good stuff, guys. And also, remember, both sportsmemo.com and wagertalk.com, we got this 60-day special, which you can see at the bottom line here, and it averages out to just $189 a month. So check that out, the 60-day special at both sportsmemo.com and wagertalk.com.